So, the question today is going to be quite controversial. This was originally stoked in my mind by the Roman question, where women were shocked and surprised that men often think of Rome. Me myself, I only think about it like 3 or 4 times a day, but that's because um, there's a lot to think about in that particular question. Just look around your house. How did all this get fucking built? Eventually, it goes back to the Romans. Oh, there's road works going on, and then it's like fucking aqueducts and that kind of shit. So yes, the question originally was going to be: do women think about the past? And I thought, no. The only thing women think about in the past is usually relationships or people they like, or the Kardashians and stuff like that. Yes, I know I'm painting an incredibly broad view. Like, come on, women, tell me I'm wrong. When you think about things, it's usually about people. So when men think about things, it's usually stupid. I'm not gonna lie, we're not a particularly incredible thinkers usually, unless we actually knuckle down, properly think about shit. So it went through all these different things like, is it masculine or feminine to think about relationships, and obviously that's not the most feminine thing, apart from when a woman has an influence on a man, which probably feminizes that thought. So you can see the sort of like tricky process I was going through here, which made me eventually think, and I literally don't have a positive and negative for this going into it, but is it masculine or feminine just to think about things? And on reflection, that is a very difficult one to put in one camp or the other. Don't get me wrong, I'm no expert on women, I'm definitely not fucking expert on men. But when it comes to just thinking about things, I suppose women think about things more often than men. I think men generally don't necessarily sit and contemplate things all the time, where women do. But I think the difference is men contemplate important things which men find important, where women contemplate things which aren't really important to anybody. So I'll give you an example. I asked a person, a lady, how often do you think about history or anything like that? And I think she had to think about the fact that she had to think, does she think about history? Which tells you something, I suppose. And I'm not taking one woman's example as an entire bedrock for, like 51% of the Earth's population, minus trans. But yeah, I think they think constantly without actually thinking about anything which is worth thinking about. Where men think about things which probably don't, are not worth thinking about. But when they have to knuckle down and really have to sort something out, I think they're doing it a very different way. It's usually problem solving or something like that. If I have to sit down with the lads, it's take the piss out of each other, rip each other out, but we're not really thinking while we're doing it. This isn't. If I insult like a male friend of mine, very rarely, although it does happen on occasion, I've actually sat down and thought out the insult. Usually, it's natural. It's like wit is probably the best word for it. Where I think women actually sit down and think about arguments they could and possibly will have in the future. If you're a guy, if you're thinking about anything, it's how much you either like or dislike or are completely neutral to a person. So I think I'm convincing myself here. Is thinking a masculine a feminine trait. I think, and it's a lot of women will probably agree with me here. Men don't necessarily think a lot about I'm struggling for words here, but I'm going to say social modernity and like your friend group and this sort of stuff. Usually we're dragged into it by women who are already thinking about this thing, and I suppose that's a perfect example. I think thinking might be, believe it or not, a feminine trait. And yeah, I've convinced myself. I think that men are more doers, and when we don't have to do, we'll think about things. Where women are constantly thinking about things, be they important or not. This isn't on the importance of like a man's thoughts or a woman's thoughts. That's not what we're discussing here. We're literally talking about the act of using that whole fucking thing inside your noggin and basically releasing yourself from reality. I think that might be a very feminine trait. So there's no point in me doing on men and women do it. Because I think I answered both of those questions in a single thing. Yes, men are doers, women are thinkers. So thinking, in my personal opinion, is a very feminine trait. If you've got a rebuttal, please comment and let me know. So, yeah. Challenge me on this a fucking day.